Good afternoon, Linda from Sharmakaya. It's a little bit gloomy and a few drops are falling, but it's okay. It'll cut the humidity from the air and tomorrow will be better, I hope, and a nice weekend. Today I'm going to talk about channeling. Channeling means to be able to be a receptor of different informations that come from a dimension that is not tangible. So in plain English, it's speaking or receiving messages from higher invisible beings. I say higher invisible because usually we channel our guides, our angels, the divine presence. But of course there's always the darker side which channels fallen angels and negativity in all its forms. But I'm going to talk about positive channeling. There are many ways to channel. Last week we spoke about grounding. Grounding is the basis, the foundation of a good channeler. When your feet are well on the ground, it means that you are secure, confident, and you are intertwined with the energy of this planet. So you stay in your body, but your intuition, your senses are connected to higher above, so you can receive different things. Now, human beings usually use different tools to channel, but when we're a child, about till the age of 6 or 7, we see in the invisible. So we see guides, we see angels, we see dark figures sometimes. Our intuition tells us unconsciously, don't go there, it's dangerous, you're close to the stairs, you might fall. All this is done in the subconscious because we are open. Our intuition has not been brimmed by rationality. As we get a bit older, 14, 15, the hormones knock in and everything changes. We're at that place where our intuition is either very developed or we go in the other direction and we become really rational, logical. It's hard for a teenager to find balance because they're finding themselves, and they are often influenced by social media, by their family, by their community, and speaking and being in tune with everything that is invisible is scary for, I will say, mature people. Because as we get older, through our upbringing, we're always told that, people that channel, that are in tune with all that is invisible are like either gurus, or they're high on drugs, or they're making up stuff. It's never seen as a positive thing. In 2018, there's a lot more positivity towards this, but for many, many years in our culture, it was seen as something negative. That's why they burnt witches and hung them and did different things. And as soon as you did something that seemed a bit odd, non-logical, you were considered a witch. You could have been a herborist. You could have been like a Merlin. You could have been somebody in touch with the elementals, but you were all considered witches, sorcerers, people that did bad things. So automatically, people that were scared of the invisible destroyed these people. I would say to you that channeling is very important. Everybody can channel. It's something that we develop, something that we embrace. And as we get older, we use tools to give us some form of credibility and something to hang on to back up what we're saying in a way, because we have no tangible proof of what we're saying. That there's no basis. So when we do energetic treatments, people don't know that we're receiving messages and the energy is being transferred through us, but they will feel it by the heat of our hands or the cold, or they will feel emotions that will come up and they'll say, my God, why am I feeling this way? So it's something that is tangible for them, so they can relate and say, okay, she's doing something. But if we go in the mystical part of it, you can use pendulums, which we can see here. Our grandmothers used to put needles on a thread, and they would say if it turns clockwise, you'd have a girl. If it would turn counterclockwise, you'd have a boy. We use it to say, ask questions and say yes and no. So that's a form of channeling. It's a tool. The person has to be very neutral and put no influence in this tool to have a precise response. And that is true channeling, when you are completely neutral and you are an object of receptivity, and it's transmitted through your hand to the pendulum. Other people will use a crystal ball. What do they do with the crystal ball? They look in it, and with their eyes half closed, pinching their eyes, they will see different scenes, different pictures. Visions will appear to them, and they will put words on them and transmit them to the person. Other people will use crystals, especially lodolite or the shaman crystals, to see the future, to see the present, to see what's going on. Other people will use tarot cards. They've been existing forever. You have different types, but each card has an emblem, and each personification, if you like, represents different energy. And whether it's looking up or looking down, you know, they all have different consequences. When they're accompanied with other cards, it means different things. But the person that reads the tarot cards has to channel. Even though she can read what she learned in her logical mind, she needs to put this together through what she shall receive into her intuition. Some people use, you know, daily cards that we pick every day, and they have different messages. So let's say I take a pack of cards with messages, and I'll choose one. And it says, be attentive. Observe the recurring signs, and your guide interior will give you important information. So that means that I'm open to be in touch with my guides to receive information, which I'm doing right now. I'm channeling as I talk to you because I'm asking them to guide me in what I'm doing. Some people will burn different incense, but more leaves. People will burn cedar and sage and sweetgrass to purify and to receive. The Native Americans many years back would take hallucinogens, like they would smoke pot and take different things to go in other dimensions to connect with everything that was invisible. There's so many things you can use to channel, but what's important is whenever you channel, you have to have your feet on the ground. You have to have a proper intention. You have to do this with your heart. If you're doing it just to make money or to build a reputation, it's not going to work. People are going to see through you. If you're just reading cards like you're reading a manual, people say, she's not good, because there's no intuitive, there's no heart, there's no combination, there's no transmittance that is authentic. It's just logical. So it's like reading a dictionary. Who wants to read a dictionary? Not many people, because you'll have a nice vocabulary, but there's no story. You don't get enthralled in what you're doing. So there's many ways. And don't forget, if we go all the way back to Egyptian times, to Jesus' time, there was always in the royalty, in the governments, there was always a person that was either an astronomer, astrologer, a guide. There was often people that did magic. At that time they called that magic. People that had the same energy as Merlin. There was always a wise person that would give advice through some form of channeling. In Africa, they throw bones and they read the bones. In Scandinavia, they use a lot of runes. They all have different symbols. In Latin America, they use the Nazca lines. They use the champi stones to heal. there's so many different things according to your cultures, but what I want to make clear is that this has existed since time ever started. So therefore, I say to you, embrace the mystical part of you. Listen to your intuition. It may come through a vision in your third eye or through a message in your third ear. It may be a feeling, your hair goes up on your arms, maybe different things. But everything that comes from up above comes through the front or the sides, through our senses. Everything that is negative will show up from the back. So if your hair is going up your spine, it's something negative. It's not something positive. And if we go in matter in human beings, feel comfortable with the person you're going to see, whether it be a tarot reader, whether it be somebody who reads the lines of the hand, a therapist. You need to feel confident and to feel that connection, because unfortunately there are a lot of clandestine people, a lot of make-believe, a lot of people that think they are, but they are not. So to be is to be. Simply connected to Mother Earth, open to the divine, and most of all, true to your heart and in respect of the other person's heart. Because somebody that comes to see you for, whether it be advice or a reading or a treatment, is vulnerable and opens themselves to you. So my advice is to always, always be in your heart and be respectful and realize what a privilege it is to have these gifts within. So for people who are not aware that they have these gifts and search to get information or help from the exterior, from other people, be wise in your decisions and always go see somebody that you're confident with. And piece of advice, always take 50-60% of what they say and the rest is up to you. So on that note, I would like to say Happy Father's Day on Sunday to all the fathers and grandfathers and all the, when I say fathers, it could be the women in gay couples that have become fathers, to everybody that is a provider, a leader of a family. I wish you all a Happy Father's Day. And we mentioned we have a draw for our Buddha, which represents happiness, good fortune, and peace. We wish you all a happy, good luck. If you want to come and buy a ticket, it's $5 for a Buddha. That is $160. I've mentioned it a few times, so I don't want to repeat myself. But what I want you to know, I have hairs on me. I have angels around me right now. So if you want to know more about channeling, feel free to ask me any questions. And as I said before, I thank everybody that supports us. To all that listen, I thank you to give me this opportunity to share some of my knowledge and to have a moment that is special between you and I. And I'm always open to suggestions. And on that note, have a good weekend. Bye-bye. Thank you. Special hello to Miss Cora, who's always watching our videos. We really appreciate your support. Here is the Buddha that is to be for the draw half at $5, the value $160. That is the Buddha. So happy Father's Day. And just a side note, we have a wonderful tarot card reader here. Her name is Diane.